At the end of the Bronze Age, watchmen along the Egyptian coast saw unfamiliar sails approaching. They were not merchant ships. They carried warriors, weapons, and entire families searching for a new home. Behind them, the eastern Mediterranean was collapsing. Cities had burned, trade had stopped, and kingdoms that had ruled for centuries had vanished. Now the survivors were moving south, toward the richest land that remained, toward the fertile Nile Delta, toward Egypt. Pharaoh Ramesses III ordered Egypt to prepare. Soldiers gathered along the shoreline. Archers took their positions. Warships entered the branches of the Nile. Egypt would meet the invaders at the water's edge. We know this story because Ramesses carved it onto the walls of his temple at Medinet Habu. There, stone reliefs show one of antiquity's most mysterious battles. Modern historians call the invaders the Sea Peoples, but no nation ever carried that name. It was a label created thousands of years later for several different peoples mentioned by Egypt. The Egyptians recorded names: Peleset, Tjeker, Denyen, Shekelesh, Weshesh. Names that survived even when their homelands disappeared. But who were these people? Pirates, conquerors, refugees, or the final survivors of civilizations already destroyed? The answer is hidden inside the disaster itself. There was no single sea people's homeland. Some may have come from the Aegean, others from Anatolia, Cyprus, or islands farther west. They were not one nation, but a shifting coalition. One group, the Sherden, wore distinctive horned helmets. Egypt had encountered them before. Some fought against the pharaohs, others were hired to defend them. This was not unusual. The ancient world regularly turned captured warriors into mercenaries. A man could attack Egypt in one decade and defend it in the next. The Peleset are the most famous. Many scholars connect them with the people later known as the Philistines, who settled along the southern coast of Canaan, but their precise origin remains debated. Archaeologists found pottery in Philistine settlements, with patterns resembling styles from the Aegean and Cyprus. The newcomers carried more than weapons. They carried food, customs, and memories of another world. The Egyptian reliefs show something unexpected. Behind the warriors came ox-drawn carts, carrying women, children, and possessions. This looked less like a raid and more like a migration. Perhaps they were not escaping from one enemy. Perhaps they were escaping from everything: drought, hunger, war, collapsed governments, and a world where survival had become impossible. But refugees can still become conquerors. Desperate families needed land, warriors needed food, and every city standing between them and survival became a target. Across the eastern Mediterranean, destruction followed the movement of people. Coastal cities burned, ports emptied, and the ships that once carried bronze and luxury goods now carried warriors. At Ugarit, the king received a terrifying report. Enemy ships had appeared. His army was away. His fleet was absent. The city called for help, but none arrived. Soon, Ugarit burned. Its palace collapsed. Its streets fell silent, and the clay messages intended to save the city survived beneath its ruins. Egyptian inscriptions claimed that Hatti had been overwhelmed, but the Hittite Empire was already struggling. Famine had weakened it, internal conflict divided it, and distant provinces were slipping away. The Hittite capital, Hattusa, was eventually abandoned. But archaeology does not reveal one simple invasion. The empire may have fragmented before its enemies delivered the final blows. Across the Aegean, Mycenaean palaces also burned. Their rulers disappeared. Their writing system vanished, but were the sea peoples responsible? Or were some of those displaced Greeks? Sea peoples themselves, each fallen kingdom created more refugees, more mercenaries, more pirates, more desperate people searching for land. The collapse was not moving in one direction. It was multiplying. By the time the coalition reached Egypt, they were confronting one of the last great powers still standing. If Egypt fell, the wealthiest surviving kingdom of the Bronze Age would fall with it. Ramesses III allowed the enemy ships to enter confined waters. Egyptian vessels closed around them. From the shoreline, rows of archers prepared to fire. The invaders had sailed into a trap. Then the arrows came. They struck warriors on the decks. Sails tangled, ships collided, and the battle dissolved into chaos. Egyptian soldiers pulled enemy vessels toward the shore. Warriors fell into the water. Others were captured on the temple walls. Ramesses transformed the battle into eternal victory. The inscriptions declare that those who entered Egypt were destroyed, their hearts and souls finished forever. But royal monuments were propaganda. They celebrated triumph, not uncertainty. Egypt survived the invasion, but victory did not restore the old world. Trade remained broken, treasuries weakened, and Egypt's power beyond the Nile continued to disappear. Not all the sea peoples were destroyed. Some settled along the Levantine coast. They built communities, mixed with local populations, and slowly became part of a new world. So, did the sea peoples destroy civilization? Not alone. They attacked cities, they conquered territory. But they were also products of drought, famine, migration, and political collapse. They were destroyers and survivors. Their true names are almost forgotten. Their homelands remain uncertain, but for one violent moment, they appeared in Egyptian stone. At the end of an age, not as monsters from the sea, but as people caught inside the collapse of their world. This is Chronova, where history comes alive.